Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. The streets of Fontaine, usually a symphony of clinking gears and laughter, seemed muted through the blindfold. Right now, your heart hammered a frantic rhythm against your ribs, a cold sweat prickling your skin. You had been snatched into an alleyway as soon as you were out of Churi's boutique. A rough hand muffling your screams before everything faded into darkness. It was terrifying, and you had no idea what to do. Hours, or maybe just minutes, bled into each other, the rough fabric of the blindfold pressed against your eyes, and the only sounds were the rhythmic creak of a carriage and muffled voices. They were trying to get you out of Fontaine. And with no one seeing this happen, this could turn out to be quite dangerous, more than you predicted. The nights won't get to you then. And right now, the fear tasted bitter in your mouth, threatening to drown you and your thoughts. And you couldn't think of anything to do. There was no one to call for help, and no one to save you from your current predicament. You could only hope that you'd be able to get away through some kind of miracle. But right now, miracles seemed highly unlikely, and you were terrified of what would happen to you. Suddenly, the carriage lurched to a halt. The gruff voice from before started to bark out orders, and you were roughly pulled out, stumbling onto uneven ground. Panic surged within you, hot and suffocating. "Don't move," a new voice ordered. This one cool and laced with a practiced authority. You could recognize it instantly. The woman you loved. The woman who held the title of the knave. Arlecchino. Relief washed over you instantly, a wave so strong you almost sagged to your knees. He would be safe. She was here, and now you had nothing to worry about. "Arlecchino?" You croaked, your voice a little bit hoarse. "What's happening?" "Stay calm, love." Her voice softened slightly, but you could hear the steely glint in it. "Someone here does not like the Fatui, so they hired these scum, and they will regret the day they crossed paths with me." A tense silence followed after, broken only by the rustle of fabric and the clang of metal. You could practically feel the predatory tension rolling off of Arlecchino in waves. Then a flurry of movement, the clash of steel, and the unmistakable crackle of Arlecchino's fire. A battle raged around you, the sound of struggle and pain grunts punctuating the air. It would have been very scary had you not known that Arlecchino could effortlessly take care of all of this. She is the fourth harbinger for a reason, and this was just a piece of cake for her, although there was always that little bit of fear within you. But despite it, your heart swelled with a fierce pride. You knew Arlecchino's strength, her mastery over her power. She was akin to a crimson hurricane, cutting through the enemies with merciless efficiency. And finally, the sounds of battle subsided, replaced by ragged gasps. You felt a hand on your arm, cool and reassuring. "It's over now," Arlecchino murmured, gently removing the blindfold. Blinking against the sudden brightness, you took in the scene before you. The men lay sprawled around you, unconscious or worse. and Arlecchino stood poised, her vision still glowing with power, crackling with it. And somehow, amongst all of this, she looks completely unscathed. Her hair, like she didn't even move, and her attire completely clean, except maybe for a few drops of blood, although you were quite assured that they were not hers. But what struck you the most was the way her gaze softened as it landed on you. The steely glint was replaced by a warmth that was only reserved for you. "You're right, my dear," she asked, her voice losing its usual icy edge, as it always did when you were there. And that's when tears pricked your eyes. You reached out, your hand trembling slightly, and you wrapped your arm around her. "You scared me half to death," you choked out, your voice thick with emotion. A ghost of a smile played on Arlecchino's lips, and she leaned into your touch, wrapping her arms right back around you, her eyes holding an unspoken apology. "They won't bother you again," she promised, her voice a low rumble. "I'll make sure of it." And you wrapped your arms tighter around her, the adrenaline finally draining away, leaving behind a wave of exhaustion. Arlecchino, ever the stoic warrior, held you tightly, her touch a grounding presence. "Let's get you out of here," she murmurs, her voice soft and gentle, as she scooped you up in her arms. And as she carried you back towards the court, a new found appreciation for your formidable lover bloomed in your chest. You knew life with Arlecchino would never be ordinary, but you wouldn't trade the fiery passion and the unwavering protection for anything in the world. In the heart of Fontaine, you have found your own sanctuary in the arms of the knave.